Hey guys, I just wanted to reach out to you and let you know that Surewinder is still selling amazing products. Some of you guys have been dragging your feet for whatever reason. If your shoulder hurts, do not waste time. Pull the trigger. I just bought 4 or 5 of them, and we had 2 guys out. You know how much it cost me to pay for 2 guys being out with bad shoulders? We just pulled the trigger and we said, listen, everybody's going to have one on a truck. It's mandatory. You got to use it. Don't hesitate. Don't wait till your guys go down. It's going to cost you more. Buy a Surewinder.
What's up, guys? Ryan here, Torsion Talk Podcast. And the real reason you listen to the show, Tamara.
Hello. Yes.
COO of Garage Door U.
I am. Correct.
How's that going for you?
Great. It's different from being your assistant, but you know, now I'm like that for 35 people. So
Dang. Yeah, I was thinking about that this morning, actually. Like, what is it like going from being like an assistant to one needy person to like 35 needy people?
some of them are not needy and some of them are needier, but it's, you know, I love them all. They're fabulous.
You don't love them all.
I do too.
Probably like some.
No, I have love for each and every member of the We're all so close. We're coming up on 2 years, and some of them have been with us for the very beginning. So
see the post I shared?
I did. I responded with a heart.
I love that. When we started this, like, we had no clue like what it was or what it was going to be, and
I know
it's so special now. It's
yeah,
part of my week.
It's my favorite.
We are in the final stages, locking everything down for GDU Summit 23.
Yeah.
So for those of you guys who like to do fun things with other business owners, and like the whole focus of this is going to be sales and marketing, because that's what our team voted on from last GDU Summit. Last GDU Summit, we had some amazing people there, attendees, amazing attendees. Like, when do you brag on your attendees? And they were all like, this was the best event, or this is one of the best events I've ever been to. So Tamara did a phenomenal job, like setting that up and getting it going. And then this year, we're going to up the game a little bit.
A little.
We are not racing cars. We're not shooting guns out of helicopters, but we are going to be in a very luxurious resort on an island, on a lake, with a bunch of dudes and ladies from the garage door industry, where we will enjoy our time together. We're going to have a fishing tournament. This lake is amazing for bass and striper fishing. So we'll have that. And then we're also going to have Jesse Itzler in as a keynote. Like, there's so much information. Like, we're trying to figure out how to like pile all this into a few days, but it's going to be amazing. And we think you're going to love it. So we definitely will be releasing that information soon, and you can check it out on garagedoorU.com. Check that out for updates. And so,
Yeah.
anything else we need to announce?
I don't think so. Oh, GDU for text, that's coming also.
Yeah, so we thought we had a good solution, but the company that we're using just sent out a message saying they're shutting down completely. So we're looking for another solution. So there's a little bit of delay, but we are starting Garage Door Tech Garage Door U for text. Yep. So we'll have Garage Door U for owners, Garage Door Tech, Garage Door U for techs. It's going to be all about your staff and like self-improvement. We're going to be like talking positive. We're going to be talking things about sales tips, how to overcome objections, how to present your pricing, how to present your findings on the door, like what's the most effective ways to close tickets, how to get the most out of your tickets. And there's going to be a balance of integrity, because I know that's like a thin line, but we're going to teach the difference between pushing things to customers and offering things to customers and letting them choose. And there's a big difference in that. So we're going to go through all of that together. But that is going to be opening up in April. And I think it's going to be wildly successful. My thing is like, if I used to invest in my own training when I was a salesperson, but I'm kind of pitching business owners on this, like, hey, if they attend all the meetings, you pay for it because you're going to get 10 times your money back on it. Yeah. But if they don't attend the meetings, they got to pay for it. And that's kind of how I'm pitching it to business owners. I think that's going to work really well. So that'll increase attendance, because if somebody knows they got to pay for it, they'll probably attend, would be my guess.
Yeah.
So, all right. Today we've got Matthew Lockemy. Did I pronounce that right?
You got it. That's it.
Yeah. He's in Michigan. We had a conversation. It's probably been like a month or two ago.
Probably about there, month and a half.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm just so intrigued by this dude. He's smart. He's been around the block, and our conversations bounced around to a couple of different places. So I was like, man, you know what? Like, this would have been a great podcast if we would have recorded this conversation. And he was down to come on the show. So I love people like this who are passionate about our industry, also love the door game in general. And they have a family-owned business, and it's called M&M Garage Doors. And they are like, I was scrolling through their staff, and it's like half of them are Lockemies. So he works with some family. So God bless you. I hired my mom and my wife in the early days and fired them both. That did not go very well. So I don't think either one of them took offense, but my wife has constantly asked me since then if she can come back, and the answer is always no. So it just doesn't work out. She tries to come in here and boss me around. So Matthew, how are you today, bro?
I'm doing great, man. Happy to be on. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Is that like Michigan in the background there?
That is actually the Detroit River. That's downtown Detroit right there.
Wow. There's Lake Michigan, isn't there?
Oh yeah, there's lake everything around here, man.
Just making sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I can give you my one experience of going to Michigan. I was probably like 12 or 13 years old. Now, mind you, I've lived in the South my whole life. Okay. Don't make fun. We're going up for Christmas because my dad's best friend was up there, and he invited us up. So we wanted a white Christmas, and we go up there, and, I see these dudes in buggies, like we're passing them down the road. I'm like, oh, that's different. But when we pulled in, we flew into Detroit, and it was like in the middle of the night. I did see a car upside down and some barrels on fire. And I was like, what in the world are we, like, have we died and gone to hell? And then like my mom was like, don't stop at the stop signs. So we just kind of like blew through some of the lights and stop signs because we didn't want to stop. And it was, I guess, a really rough part of town in Detroit. And so we got to his house, went to bed, woke up the next morning. I come downstairs, and I was like, man, it looks so cold outside. And he's like, yeah, we got a thermometer right there on the window. And I go over there, and I'm like, dude, your thermometer is broken. And he's like, no, it's not. And I'm like, yeah, it is. And he's like, why is it broken? I'm like, because it's got a little negative sign right there. I'm like, temperature doesn't go below 0. Like 0 is the base. And he's like, no. He's like, temperature goes below 0. This was the first time here I am. Now, mind you, I never pay attention in school, so they probably covered this. But this was the first time I realized that the temperature went under 0 in my entire life. I've been in Atlanta my whole life. So the lowest I think I've ever seen was like 13 here. So
wow.
He wanted me to put on some layers. Shut up, Tamara. He wanted me to put up some layers, and we went and cut a tree down and use that for firewood. So that's about all I remember that trip.
We've definitely been through some cold over the years. There's no doubt about it. Negatives, 100%. Detroit. It's so funny. Like everyone's like outside perspective on Detroit is exactly how you explained it, and it's very true. I mean, like we don't stop at stop signs in Detroit.
Really?
We don't. And like I was downtown last night, and like you just casually roll red lights because you're like, I don't want to wait here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like
Stray
okay.
bullet or some dude trying to wash your windshield.
That's scary.
Yeah. I mean, like downtown, you don't feel scary, but like don't go too far outside of downtown for sure.
Yeah.
And hang out. You know what I mean? You kind of just want to keep moving. And yeah, Detroit, I mean, Southern Michigan, it's so different than Northern Michigan. So most people idea of Michigan is, Detroit, suburbs, concrete city. I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah.
You go a couple hours north, it's like a paradise. It's completely different. Rolling hills, trees, lakes. I mean, it's just amazing. That's where a lot of people in Michigan like to spend their time. So it's where I like to spend my time, is up north. That's why I'm moving there. So
I've never heard anyone explain a cold area as paradise.
I prefer the cold.
Do you?
Yeah.
For sure, 100%.
Is that why you did so well in the ice bath?
I was a beast in the ice bath, right? Not as much of a beast as Tyler was, because didn't he go back in like 3 times?
Yeah.
I've never done an ice bath. That sounds.
Oh, you have to. They're amazing.
Come to GDU Summit, dude. We're gonna do it there.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll do it there.
Yeah. It's great. Like, it really like makes you awake past where you actually think you are awake.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm now like taking cold showers occasionally. It's not that I enjoy the instant pain, it's the after effects of it that really help me. So I like it a lot. And if you're watching online, I gotta give kudos to Matthew, because we jump on and his background was cooler than mine. And I was like, bro, what in the world? I was like, you got the time, you got the temperature, you got this cool background. And he's like, yeah, bro, you got to download Warmly. So I had to do that before we went live, because I can't have guests have cooler things than me on my own podcast. So
give it 2 weeks
with her blurry background.
Thanks. Thank you for that.
Give it a few weeks. Warmly will be a sponsor.
We'll probably have them. All right. So tell me a little bit about how you specifically got into the garage door business.
I was out of high school, just, working basic jobs, restaurants, golf courses, random jobs. I had a buddy of mine, took a job with his uncle, and he was pressuring me hard. He's like, dude, I'm making good money. I work 40, 50 hours. I'm making 40 grand a year. I'm like, really? This is back in 2009, 10. And if it wasn't for this buddy of mine just pressuring me, I never would have stepped foot in the industry. Most people think like it was in my family. It was not. I'm definitely the startup, of the company, but he pushed me hard. I went on a few ride-alongs, and, I've always been a handy guy, outdoors guy. So I picked up on it really, really fast, and I got really good. And I worked for another company for a little over 2 years. It was all about repetition, speed, how fast can you get through your service calls? And we were doing a lot of them. We were probably doing on average 8 to 12 a day, depending on the day, every day. And there was always, extra side work to pick up. I'm not side work, overtime to pick up. But, and it was a great company that I worked for, great boss, great experience. I didn't quite agree with his direction. And like
here's where it all starts.
Exactly. So, 2 years of basically making the same money, with really no room for growth within the company. I was talking with my grandpa. My grandpa kind of was, he's a plumber, and he went on his own way back in the day. He's like, just do it, man. I was 20, just turned 20. And he's like, what's the worst that's going to happen? You don't have a mortgage. You don't have kids. You could fall flat on your face a few times right now and just pick right back up and keep going. So I kind of took that mentality, made a name. My grandpa's plumbing business was JJ and Sons. So he kind of threw out the M&M, because my brothers were all M's, Mike, Matt, Mitch, and Morgan. So I was like, yeah, let's just roll with M&M, man. So open up the business, hopped out. Dude, Craigslist was my jam in the beginning. I think I was one of the first few, but that really helped me get going, get some customers, some referrals. And then, yeah, I mean, I dove deep into doing doors on my own every day for, I was in the field for almost 10 years before I kind of started working my way out.
Yeah. Were you a technician or an installer?
I was just a technician. I
Okay.
was a pro at springs. I could do motors, fix any door, repair off track or whatnot. And it's a funny story. Like, I never even installed a garage door when I went on my own.
It's funny.
I literally contracted a guy. I sold my first door. I called a guy that I knew that was doing it out there because my other owner, the boss I was working for, he contracted him. I was like, hey, I got a door. Can I meet you over there? I'll pay you whatever you want, man. Like, I got to see how this goes. And, that was it, man. I paid my first few, then I started doing them on my own and, started working. I learned from a lot of good people, that were at suppliers in the industry, to really help me along the way. But that was kind of my starting point there.
Yeah. My story is similar, but I came from white collar with only 4.5 days of training. So very different than working for a company for a few years and getting that training. But the story about I was a technician and, I think it was my third job I sold was a garage, like an 8x7 with a motor. The motor, I fine, no problems. But the door, that little, I think it was a 9x7, if that helps. It was like 11 hours or something like that, 11 hours.
And I'm sure you put the verts where the horizontals go and the horizontals where the verts go.
Bro, like it was so bad. We got the door in and then I opened it and it was like hitting the drums or whatever. And then I had this center bearing plate upside down. So like the cutout was up top, like just so much stuff. And I had to make like 3 trips to Home Depot because I didn't have everything I needed. And I think I tell this story a lot, but I was at a PDA conference and I was telling this story and I was like, by the way, have any of you guys read the AMAR freaking instructions? And they're like, no. I'm like, the only 2 people in this industry at that point had not installed a garage door and had no clue how to do it was me and the guy who wrote the instructions how to install a garage door for an AMAR. And at the end, I'm like, anybody got questions? And people raised their hand. This dude raised his hand. I was like, yeah. He's like, I wrote those instructions. I work for AMAR. And I was like, ha, ha, ha. And he's like, no, I'm not kidding. Like, I literally wrote those. And I'm like, I don't get embarrassed easily, but I was like crushing this dude because I was being hard on myself too. It was a kind of a joke. Everybody started laughing but me. And I'm just like, great. This dude.
Yeah. Funny story of starting. So, it was back, when I think everybody and still to today is like hiring subcontractors. We supplied our own truck, tools, equipment. The only thing that we got from that company was the parts. But we bought I had a pickup truck and my buddy had like a creeper van, man. It was, it looked like he had a mattress in the back. It was pretty funny. But we just rolled around in our own vehicles. Well, I started on my own and I bought myself a brand new minivan, like a 2010 Dodge Caravan, right after the economy kind of took a dump and, Dodge offered this lifetime warranty. I was like, perfect. I'm going to get this lifetime warranty. I'm going to run this thing in the ground. And I did. I drove that thing for 10 years. I think I pushed over 300,000 miles, but
Wow.
what I didn't realize was I told you about installing my first door. Dude, that was a service machine. Well, then I started selling doors. Now I get like a rack on top. Like I modified a weather guard rack to go on top of my minivan.
Yeah.
And like, 8x7, 9x7, 16x7, sure. Well, then you start selling bigger jobs. Man, I was rolling down the road. Like I remember doing 2 12x12s in the mini, man. I had the doors on each side. I put airbags in the back, just to hold the weight. I'm pretty sure that frame has got to be twisted. And I put the ladders on top of the doors. I got stuff hanging out the windows and
got to start somewhere, bro.
People knew who I was. I was the garage door guy with the minivan in town, just rolling down the road.
Like these guys in some of these groups, they'll post these pictures of like these guys in cars with like doors
Stuff
sticking
out the sunroof.
Oh yeah.
And I'm
I
like,
would,
you know what though? Like we all started somewhere. Good
Yeah.
for them for the hustle, right? And just not
yes.
caring.
Yep.
Like I'm not gonna dog them because to me, like I feel like we all start. You all start. It's never pretty in the beginning,
Oh yeah.
right? Like
No.
you didn't get that nice truck in the beginning. If you did, you're probably upside down, and that probably cost you growth and everything else. So yeah, I just I'm a big fan of like starting where you can and just hustling and working your way up. And if that means you're in like a Toyota Corolla installing garage doors, then dude, more power to you.
I was just at the AMAR event in Puerto Rico. And during the conference, they put a photo of a guy was at one of their door centers with like a Harley with a trailer on the back, like a little boat trailer.
That's
And
awesome.
he was strapping his doors
God,
to a little boat trailer.
no
I was
better.
like, hey man. He's like, dude, I love my bike so much. I'm assuming he lived down in one of the southern states, but he's like, I love my bike so much, man. He had a little tool pack on the back. It was pretty awesome.
It's a way to make a name for yourself.
Committed
Oh, yeah.
to that lifestyle for sure.
Yeah, for real.
He's the garage door motorcycle guy.
Yeah.
I know. So where are you guys based out of?
We're just north of Detroit, in a little town called New Haven. It's about 40 minutes north of Detroit, kind of right up, 94 is the main highway. You follow Lake St. Clair. So I'm pretty close to the lake over here. And then we got our place. We just opened up in Grand Rapids, January of 21.
Congratulations.
So, dude, it's been fun. It was, definitely a brand new startup. One of my employees, guy named Nick, awesome. Love that guy. I talked about, Grand Rapids. We do, all the Costco installs. So we're one of the Costco vendors up here. So we have 6 stores in the Detroit area. Well, Grand Rapids had 3, including the Kalamazoo area. And I really wanted to get over there, and I brought it up to Nick, and Nick's like, I'll go. Like, it wasn't even like, he's like, I'll move tomorrow. I'm like, really? Are you serious? He's like, yeah, I'll go. So I ended up looking for a shop to kind of start everything off, and he was looking for a house. We were both coming up dry, man. I was like, what are we gonna do? Like every realistic space that we found, under 3,000 square feet to start was, the second you make the phone call, it was gone. So, and every home he was trying to rent, apartment, anything, it was just a booming area back in, late 2020, early 2021. I ended up buying a house, like an old farmhouse with a pole barn. I was like, perfect, house for you, pole barn for me. I was like, and we just shipped a ton of parts out there. Got the Costco's turned on, a GMB rolling. Later got an LSA out there, which took forever. Whole nother story there.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna tell Tamara.
Yeah.
What's that?
When I opened my second location, I put her in charge of getting that going, and
It wasn't a deal.
between her and I, it took us 2 months.
Yeah.
And we worked on it every day.
That's pretty fast from what I've been hearing. I've talked to some friends.
Like every day. Like I was on with Google for 8 hours a day.
Yeah. Whatever it takes. Just get it on. Yeah. I have friends that it's taken 4 months, 5 months to get it.
And we couldn't have been more legit, right? Like signs, like, showroom, like garage doors in the showroom.
Licenses says,
like the whole thing. And what was crazy is as soon as we got it up, they shut down my other location. And I was just at that point, I was like, screw it, bro. I'm not even,
dude,
I don't care at this point, just whatever.
We were uploading stuff, and you got to have the business card like in the photo, it like wasn't close enough to like the torsion bar that was in the photo with our tool. They're like, please resend photo with business card. I'm like, really? We're real.
Where they do that, just like it makes no difference whatsoever. But I assume they're probably like getting a lot of Photoshop stuff. Which brings me to my point, like, how do these scam companies get up like overnight? They get taken down and another one pops up and they got hundreds of reviews overnight. Like,
dude, it is so
area.
Yeah, it is crazy here. I first discovered kind of what was going on. We saw a massive drop in our local service leads, man. We were averaging, I think it was like 600-800 a month. And it dropped down quickly to like 300-400. And then, by November of last year, 22, we were down to like 100. I'm like, man, what is going on? And I start digging. I'm like, who are these companies on here? You just random names like, 24/7 garage door, fix it garage door. Never heard of them.
That you are well established in.
Affordable
other people.
I know, affordable door, right way garage. It was just like, not right way. That's Jake.
I know. I was like, wait
Jake's
a second.
real.
That was legit.
Jake's real. No, expert's a big one. And there's like 2 experts. I'm like, who are these people? Excellent doors and locks. And you just keep digging and digging. I'm like, these people don't exist.
Yeah.
And when you think about what we had to go through to get a legit business on an LSA, and when you look at their photos, their company, you can't find a website, you can't find a physical address. You look at all the reviews, they're showing up, 10, 20, 30 a day, every day in, day out.
Starting from like the first day they go live or whatever.
First day they go live. And, just started getting really involved, reaching out to Google and, doing a lot of research, man. It's all these call center based companies.
Yeah.
It's like a lead farm. Like they're just, out there grabbing as many leads as possible and they're selling them. They've always been doing this, even before LSA became a thing. In the yellow book, they were doing it. If you got 20 companies in the yellow book and there are 12 of them, well, they got really good odds they're going to get that phone call.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's the same thing. You got, in any given market, 10, 20 LSAs. And if they own half of them, well, they got a 50% chance of showing up in the 3-pack or the 2-pack on mobile. Then they got an even higher chance of getting that call. So
do you think people on the ground know that they're buying leads from like a scam company, or do you think they do such a good job where they're just like,
no, like they know. I've talked to one of the, I don't want to call them employee because they're not, they're subcontractors, but I've talked to them. They're well aware that they're buying the leads and how they're getting the leads. It's a very tight-knit organization. I don't know who for sure is behind it. That's a whole nother podcast episode for sure. But they know they're buying them. And the one guy told me, openly, he's like, yeah, $70. He's like, I buy the lead for $70. He's like, when the phone rings, I have to take the call. If you don't take the call, they're going to drop that guy. He won't get leads anymore. And they just have such a network of people around the country. And they're constantly recruiting and building it out. LSA came out and that was like top dog. This organization that has bounced around platforms, Yellow Book, tried the PPC, obviously GMB, they own GMB. We all know, that's a free service, but there's hundreds and hundreds of GMBs that you're like, who are these people?
You spend a massive amount of time on our clients, hire us for marketing, for SEO. Like there's 2 ways to get to the top, right? You can do SEO or you can report spam or do the combination of the 2 because, they don't play by the same rules that we do because they don't care if their Google business profile goes down. They'll just have another 2 up the very next day those get suspended.
Yeah, they're constantly in queue. They're ready for it. But when LSA came out, when they got wind of that, it was a race to figure it out. So they clearly cracked some kind of code. They cracked a code, whether it's with Google directly, inside Google, infiltrated maybe the advanced verification department, because it really, really seems like these are just getting like pushed through. Like, hey, when you see Expert Door LLC show up, let it go, right? From the advanced verification department, or they hacked it, but to think they hacked Google and Google doesn't know about it. Yeah, that would be, I don't know.
Consistency in everything, including price, reliability, quality, not just quality, but great quality control. These are things that describe Somer USA. Somer's not some startup company, not one that you need to be worried about going out of business in the near future. Somer and their family of businesses are $200 million companies. They're in over 100 countries, and they have locations in 20 countries. This is a large organization who stands behind their product and works through integrity. And there's not another company out there willing to drop what they're doing and help you out like Somer. These guys are awesome. Not only have they been loyal to the Torsion Talk podcast, they've been loyal to the technicians and the owners of the companies who install their product. In my opinion, if you're not at least offering Somer as an additional option, you're cheating yourself. Listen, first-time dealers, I've got a special for you. If you buy 10 or more Somers, while supplies last, we will offer you free shipping. You have no more excuses. The prices are great. The product is amazing. Go check out Somer USA and order 10 for free shipping.
I also hear a lot about, people saying that their phone numbers are getting hacked, and they think it has to do with LSA. So like, I was out in California at a WASA event that I was speaking at, and I sat in on one of the meetings about Google spam, specifically on LSA. And what they're getting is people are calling the LSA number, getting a different company. And then what's happening is that these customers are like getting totally ripped off or screwed. And then they're calling the company they thought they hired, complaining. And these companies are like, man, you didn't call us. Like, we've never heard of you before. And they'll pull up their phone records and show they called that number to that business and they didn't get it. Like the numbers are getting hijacked somehow. Like for sure at the time.
I've definitely heard of that. Like, there's no doubt. You know, the way it's been working, I mean, what we're hearing around here is they're calling this call center type company, right? They're no one company, specifically, and they don't answer as one company specifically. So when they answer, they'll just say garage door repair, right?
Or
garage door service. How can I help you? And then they're going to basically assign you to a local guy that's going to call you back. Well, if you don't want to play that game, you could easily call the next guy in line, because they're going to ask for your address. So they're going to get that up front in the beginning. Well, you might not like that experience. You say, call M&M Garage Doors. Well, we will take that call, we'll book it out. And then all of a sudden come to find out, it's like we get to the customer's house and they've already been serviced, because the address that was given to this call center based company, they're sending texts. If they're doing nothing, they're sending them out. And I've heard that amongst many markets in the US of friends, around the country, that have experienced the same thing. They just beat you to it, basically. So if they're not hijacking phone numbers, they're just taking that as a lead. They get a quick phone call. My spring broke. Here's my address. Can you service me? And they don't book with them. Well, they got the address and they know you have a broken spring. They're sending a guy out there.
Yeah.
So, and then when they show up in an unmarked car, then they're like, I've heard this before from multiple companies. They're like, oh, are you M&M Garage Doors? They're like, yeah, we're a subcontractor for them. They were too busy to take the call. They called us to come out and they're going to run it through their company. And then people just go for it. So, it's they're
literally in cars.
Oh yeah.
And like, for a short amount of time, I was selling garage door parts.
Yeah.
We were like one of the first ones in the Atlanta market to like open up a little store, and we did garage door parts delivery and pickup. And all of a sudden I started having like these, they were all Middle Eastern dudes coming in, and they had they all did locksmith and garage doors, every single one of them. Some uniforms, like a shirt with a little badge on it or whatever, it'd say like Atlanta locksmith and door or something like that. And they I'll never forget, this one guy pulled up in a Kia and he popped the trunk, brought in a broken spring. And I was like, bro, I don't have like an exact match for this. And he goes, it doesn't matter. Just give me something close. And I'm like, you're a door guy? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, what's the name of your company? He's like, Atlanta Locksmith and Door or something. And I was like, I said, what size is his door? And he's like, it's a 16x7, I think. And I'm like, okay. I was like, you got one spring here and that's not heavy enough. And he's like, yeah, I left the customer. They still got one spring on the door. It's still good. It's not broken. I'm like, okay. And that's a preference, I guess. So, yeah, I mean, but the guy was like, you know, hey, so can I set up an account, start buying a bunch of stuff from you? And I'm like, no. So, but like those guys coming in really made me see how many of them there are, because once word got out, like I was getting these guys showing up like once or twice a week to come buy parts from me. And I eventually shut it down, but there's a lot.
Yeah, here's my thing, like my whole take on this. I'm a big, play by the rules, man.
Yeah.
It's like Google lays out these guidelines. I want Google to play by the rules that they created, right? And just letting things happen, in a way that doesn't make any sense to the guys that like me and you, we go through the process to get the LSA. It's a pain in the butt. We get the licensing, the insurance, you name it. We play by the rules, we play by the book. Like, that's what bothers me most. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying these guys don't deserve to work here. I mean, they for sure do. I just wish they were doing it on a level that was, it's fair. It's a level playing field. Like, hey, man, I got to the LSA, by a lot of hard work, great reputation, I got my own shop, my own showroom. Like, that's how I got there. It's like, hey, man, get in line and start working, put your head down, get there. Like, I just wish, everyone was playing by, the same rules, but they're not. And that's what drives me the most crazy. The one guy I met, I'll be honest with you, I'm not going to mention his name. I interviewed him. He's a nice guy. He really is. He's not from, the United States. Speaks very well English. He's a very nice guy, very motivated. He just, he's working under this organization. So it's really not him. Like, the people that we've met that have been doing this, they're good people. It's just, who they're working for. It's just, and the way they're getting the leads, I just don't agree with. And I wish it would get cleaned up. Like, I don't mind competition. Right. No big deal. Just let's all play by the same rules, man. I wish it was more regulated. Like, that's my take on it. I was very frustrated in the beginning. And now today I'm just like, hey, what do we got to do to make this thing just fair? Right. Because it's not fair.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know that it'll ever be fair.
Which is life, right?
Yeah. When you think about the effort they're putting in, could you imagine how well they'd be doing if they started out from the very beginning?
Oh yeah.
And they put this much effort into doing it right, how dominant they would probably be.
I could only imagine, because I mean, when you start digging into what's going on and how big it is right now and how many industries across the world, it's not just here in the US. Like, this is a big deal. It is impressive. It is so impressive what they've done and created and how they're doing it. I mean, we'll probably never know. If it ever does get shut down, it'll just be like a light switch and moving on. Yep. But it is insane. The American
economy is going to go up by like 30%
instantly.
All our companies, locksmith, everybody's like, all of a sudden, all of our businesses will start booming.
Yeah, come to find out, it's it's like a $30 billion company, or something.
Right.
But yeah, I'm at the point with the LSA. It's just like, I just don't agree with the LSA was the best thing since like sliced bread. I mean, I don't know if you could agree by that. It was like,
oh my, yeah, no, it was great.
Game changing, right? It was like, wow, like, I'm not going to get clicked to death on PPC.
Right.
I have something that's like regulated in terms of cost, and I'm like guaranteed a quality phone call. This is insane.
Right.
And that's why it was so appealing to, these outside organizations. But I'm at the point like, dude, bro, just shut it down. Let's just go back to playing by PPC, GMB. Like, I know how to play there, but this LSA, we can't control it, and you can't get answers. It's very interesting.
Right.
So
yeah, bro. I don't know the answer. We were part of a little group that Precision hired. I knew all the people that were going after these guys. and we went down that rabbit trail, but that ended and nothing really came of it. But I know for a fact that IDA had worked with Google for a little bit, and I don't think they got anywhere with it.
Mm.
And then like the original, like the OG on all this stuff was, I think, my very first podcast, if I'm not mistaken. You know, he did investigative report on what he calls bad Bobs and companies taking advantage of Google Business Profile and AdWords and making fake companies. And so if any of you guys are interested, you can Google search garage door bad Bobs, and all his articles will come up. And yeah, he came on and we chatted about it, and he had done a very thorough, very good job of all the research and writing articles on it. And you know, unfortunately, it's just continued to get worse. And the whole point of LSA was to avoid this from happening. And
well, that's the unfair point of, like, you know, the unfair thing about LSA is, you know, as a consumer, you're reading in here, wow, Google guaranteed. These guys are background checked, you know, they got our stamp of approval. Let's hire them. And then these consumers don't know that that's not what they're getting. And that to me is like, you know, a big no-no. Like, and the fact that, if I'm assuming Google knows it's happening, and to let it continue, it's very concerning, because, you know, go back to PPC. Google didn't back it. It wasn't Google guaranteed. You know, they didn't say that they were background checked. And it's like, now, you know, you're putting that stamp of approval, but you're not, you know, you're not policing it. So it's like, what are we doing here? Is it just a money grab up top on the LSA? I don't know. On the phone numbers, I wanted to share it with your listeners that we found out, and maybe you've experienced the same thing. Up until a few years ago, I had no idea Apple Maps was like a different listing with a different phone number. I mean, not a different phone number, but a different listing than Google Maps. Yeah. Well, like, my Apple Maps listing was hijacked multiple times, and they left the name, address, everything, but what did they change? The phone number. And so to anybody out there, check your Apple Maps listing, because when people are on their iPhones and they do an Apple Maps search for a garage door company, they're not getting a Google search. They're getting their Apple Maps. And yeah, come to find out, man, I was getting leads.
Surrey too.
Probably Surrey too. Exactly. So just be careful. I would definitely double check your profiles, because
he's pulling over right now, pulling
in
up
their trucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. So yeah, I think and Apple's working on a bunch of different things as regarded to like a Google Business Profile type system that's even more sophisticated than it is right now. So I'm pretty excited to see that. Should be pretty interesting.
A lot of cool stuff out right now, man. Like that. Have you been playing with that Chat GPT at all?
Yes, bro. We actually so we've been messing with it here, but we have quarterly projects, and one of my employees did their project and presentation today, actually, for the first quarter on ChatGPT, and we're trying to figure out, like, how do we use it here at such and such, like, is there a way to make us more efficient or find information quicker or whatever. So we're testing it in a couple different fronts, so we're pretty excited about it.
Yeah, I mean, we've been using it you know, for contract agreements, you know, write up a job description, just tell it some basic key points you want to, you know, have inside there, and hit enter, and boom, 30 seconds later, you got like this full description or full agreement or full contract. You know, you can write offer letters, you could do blog posts. I mean, if you ask it, you know, what's the top 10 things I can do to best maintain my garage door, it's like instant. There you go. And like, you read it as a garage door guy, you're like, it's not wrong. It's 100% right. And you're like, this is insane. You know, I wish I had this back when I was in school.
Right.
That's awesome. Exactly the conversation that we had during the meeting this morning.
Like, man. Yeah. But now they're talking like they have a way that they can plug in, you know, that into another software, and it'll know. I don't know. Yeah, I still would have used it though, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's really cool, you know. what AI can do, man. I can't wait to just learn more about it. I'm all about learning right now. You know, I went from garage door guy to, you know, business owner, you know, working on the business, and like my roles completely shifted, you know, my responsibilities. And you know, I'm all about going after new information, you know, new tools that, you know, that we can use, whether it's, you know, online or in the field. You know, it's
You
definitely
just
what
go find-
excites me. We do, dude. We just got the Brute,
Yeah.
and I got a 29-year veteran, never used one, and he's a commercial guy. We got a commercial division that we bought last year, and he's like, well, I'll give it a go. That's all he wants to use, man.
Nice.
It is insane. We actually sent out the Winder on one of a smaller job,
Yeah.
but he had to go wind some duplex, and he's like, I don't know, man. We actually had to get a special drill for the Brute, and he's like, it is insane. It is insane how easy it is.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, 29 years of winding duplex and stuff like that. He's like, you just bought me 5 years of my life.
Yeah.
I was like, perfect, man. You
Doesn't
know,
field longer, making money longer.
dude, it is a game changer. I have not personally used it myself, but I just hear great things about it.
Yeah.
And it looks beautiful. The way it comes out, you see that case it comes in, it's almost like you're pulling out like a real expensive gun, you know?
No joke. Yeah, it feels good. They did a phenomenal job. The quality of it, everything, it's so good, and it couldn't be ran by a better dude. Chris is freaking awesome.
Yeah, I hear you talk about him on all your podcasts. That's great.
Yeah, he's a sponsor of ours.
Yeah.
Great. Imagine how that came up. I don't know how we got here. So anyway, lots of cool things coming out in the industry right now. I feel like garage door companies are, you know, the manufacturers themselves are getting a little bit more innovative.
Mm-hmm.
You got DoorLink came out with the new plank door that looks gorgeous. You got Clopay came out with a plank door that looks great. Just got an email like why we were on this podcast right now. Clopay's new Avanti. Did you see that?
It's like Amar's Horizon.
Yep. Like that.
I forget what they called it, but I saw the email.
It's called
Amar, what's it called?
Sleek.
Amar released that their plank will be out in the next few months as well too. They had samples of it down in Puerto Rico. It looked great. It looked really good.
Why did it take so long? That's my question for everybody, because CHI came out with that product and it's been selling like freaking hotcakes for what, 8 years now? 5 years, something like that. And
I mean, it's definitely, you know, the wood grain that CHI's got is impressive. It looks so good. You know, I don't know if it's like a longevity quality of the paint and finish, because I know Amar's finish that they're coming out with, it's completely different than what like CHI is doing.
So I talked to him about that. So CHI does a print.
Mm-hmm.
They're like putting it on, kind of like a scanner, I guess, or like a, you know, some type of technology. And they had some quality issues back in the day. And you know, I talked to one of their product guys, and they said that, you know, in the very beginning they had a few issues with the fading and stuff. And so they did a bunch of research and invested heavily into like a higher end UV protectant finish. And that's that is what made the kind of, I guess, the price go up or whatever. Anyway. Yeah. So long story short, the newer versions have this like UV protectant. But I said, how long does that take to wear off before somebody should probably like roll a new one on? And his reply was, it won't break down within 5 years. So 5 years sounded like it was kind of like, that's where you probably need to like,
you should hop in there and get a coat on there. And I think that's why Clopay and Amar have taken so long, because I should have took better notes on the plank for Amar, but I believe it's in the steel. Like their coil, I think, is going to have it in there. They're not printing it.
No, that's the same as Clopay. They told me they're buying rolls that have that grain in it. And what was impressive is, I hate repetitiveness. Like there's nothing that screams fake wood garage door than like
Repeat.
Yeah,
blank.
you can see it like,
Yeah, I hate
Oh, yeah.
that, bro.
Yeah.
Hate it. Like I refuse to sell it. Customers are like, I want that. I'm like, no, dude, I'm not doing that because it looks like crap and it repeats. So
Yep.
Clopay's doesn't repeat.
Mhm.
I was like telling him, I said, dude, whoever your team is, pick this, like, let them know that I don't see any repetitive patterns in the entire door. And thank you,
Oh,
because
for sure.
it's beautiful.
You know, I'm definitely heavily into AMAR, but we do sell all the products, and there's so many cool products right now. I mean, Haas has great products. Clopay's
Jake
got great
stuff coming out.
dude. The Axolotl, that guy was there. He's from Singapore. Yeah, dude, Jake's
Dude,
the man.
that's
I love Jake. I hope he's listening right now because
I'm sure he is.
I love
Jake's one of my best friends. I think we talk every week pretty much. And Jake was down there with his Axolotl guy. That's super impressive. It's
Yeah.
going to be expensive, but
Super.
you know, all your markets, Atlanta, Detroit, we got the high-end neighborhoods.
Right.
They're there. You know, are you going to sell
It's
20 a
so
year?
unique that
Dude.
it's like, I mean, where else are you going to get something like this?
Well, what's crazy is like they're going to release like set patterns and materials and design, but hearing that guy speak, that makes all this stuff, it's like infinite. Like they'll do whatever you want to do, but it's gonna be a select offering for to AMAR right now. But the patterns, I mean, the quality of material, it is insane.
I'm looking for one of those for my house, bro,
dude,
because we're building.
it's insane.
I've
Yeah,
heard about
100%.
your doors, Ryan.
Say what?
I've heard about who makes the decisions on your doors.
Yes.
Why you gotta bring that up?
I've never felt like less of a man. You know, my wife, I'm building her dream house right now. And I'm like, babe, there's a couple things I really need. Like, I need an office, and I'm not allowed to use the office because she says I'm too messy. So the office is like, I don't know what that's going to be. It's going to be like a decorative office that like we can look at when we walk by it. And then her other thing was, you know, I'm like, oh yes, finally gonna have a house that I can put a glass garage door on. She's like, I hate glass garage doors. It's like the worst, ugliest garage door in the world. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me right now? Like, this is what I sell the most. I love it. Like, I want this. She's like, it doesn't go with our house. I'm like, it absolutely goes with our house. We just got black windows. Like, how does a black glass garage door not match black windows? She's like, you got to break it up. She's like, I want wood.
Dude, give me a log home. I'll put a glass door on it. I love glass doors. I love it.
Go with everything anyway. So anyway, here we are, like talking about wood garage doors, and then I showed her Axolotl. I guess is actually how you say it. Since you're saying it that way.
Yeah.
You.
I might not be right though. So Jake, I'm sorry.
It's Axolotl.
Axolotl. Perfect.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jake.
And then I hit Jacob. I'm like, bro, what's it gonna take, man? Like, so he's working some back channels for me to try to help me out. But we're featuring this house in a magazine, in Modern Luxury magazine, and like we're going all out. So I need something that's gonna pop. Like I need something unique that people be like, holy cow, I've never seen anything like that before. Or you know, just something classic but beautiful. And so the wood thing, she was on the herringbone. She's like, this is what I want. So I got prices from our door manufacturers. Like, we're looking to put this on our house, blah, blah, blah. So we're getting all this back. And 2 days ago, like, she's like, I think I changed my mind. I'm like, holy cow, woman. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I might just pull the trigger on the glass door and just stick it in and tell her we're going to do this for a little while. And then
you know what you tell her? You're like, this is our temporary door. Yes. And then temporary becomes permanent. And you're like, oh,
I'm just too busy to deal with this right now, babe.
Yeah, just one more year. Yeah. It's funny.
That's terrible.
I feel like that's a good move.
No, I love my wife. I let her totally. I'm like, hey, what do you feel? And like, I want her to be happy with it. Like, I'm good.
For you.
Too, she gets the whole rest of the house. I just want the garage door.
I know.
I do agree. That's probably fair.
That's it.
Objective.
But she gave me a bifold. So that's one thing. Yeah. I got a bifold in the living room now.
What is it?
It's a
Who's doing
bifold.
it?
You know, the horizontal bifold doors.
Oh yeah, yeah. You live in Atlanta. Yeah, that's awesome.
So we have this. We have like a 12-foot concrete patio that's going to be off the back of our living room.
Nice.
Covered, and then we're going to put screens, phantom screens. Plug for phantom screens are the best in the world. We're going to put phantom screens to close in the porch.
Yep.
And we've got the collapsible bifold, so we can open it up, close the screens. We'll
So like the whole back of your house opens up.
Yeah, dude. We got a fireplace on the back porch, patio, whatever. And then right outside of that, we're gonna have our pool. So
yeah, that's awesome, man.
Trying, dude. Trying, bro. I've been working my freaking ass off since I was like 15 years old.
Man, you work hard, you can get great things, man. Don't stop. Keep grinding, man.
Want, like, nice cars or none of that. Like, it doesn't appeal to me. When I get done working, I want to go somewhere where it's like an oasis, where I don't feel like I need to go on vacation, you know?
Yep. 100%.
So, my wife, I was like, dude, I need a cold plunge, I need a sauna, I need a pool, and a nice back porch. I say, if you can give me those things, I'm good. Like, I'll stay here forever.
Dude, that's where it's at. Yeah, I definitely want to look into some screens, man. The mosquitoes can get pretty bad up here.
Yeah.
So.
Dude, phantom screens, if they don't have a distributor there, you definitely need to sign up.
I'm gonna look into
them. There was a company here who had a distributorship. They were able to pull up all the orders and everything. It totaled up to be over $1 million in revenue that company lost by breaking their agreement. And so they came to us because I had been chasing them to get signed up as a dealer. And they were like, what do you feel about being like an exclusive distributor? And I'm like, okay. So you mean like all of them are gonna run through us? And she's like, yeah. She's like, you can set up dealers if you want. And I'm like, no, that's okay. I was like, we'll just make Aaron Overhead Door the dealer and we'll cover it. And
for sure.
We're booked out like 4 weeks on screens right now. And we haven't done any marketing.
How was the installation? Pretty easy?
Super easy, bro.
Yeah. They're motorized, right?
Yeah. Well, they have motorized and then they have the sliding door. Like,
okay, yeah.
Screens.
Yeah.
But you can do them for like large openings up to 16 feet too. So like if you wanted if you want to put one on your garage door, you could, and it slides from right to left instead of being like up and over or whatever.
Yeah, the up and over one. I hate the clutter, man. We do them, we probably do 10 a year. Yeah. And they look great from the exterior. I just hate that clutter. Everything's just sitting down,
That's awesome. You have to be like, you can't go over like 15-inch radius, I think. And a lot of what we do here is 20 and 32 and high lift and pitch. So like that completely like marks it out on those accounts. So yeah. Well, Matt, bro, listen, dude, it's always great. The
100%
didn't disappoint. We skipped around a little bit, just like our conversation previously on the phone, but I enjoyed every minute of it. And you're welcome to come on the show whenever you want, dude. If you want,
awesome.
Maybe we can replace Tamara as you can make the co-host or something.
Ooh, you know what? If Tamara's ever out, if she's ever out sick, I'll jump in with you.
I'm just kidding. No, we couldn't do it without Tamara. Plus, I don't know why, but the thumbnail always goes to Tamara.
It does not. I intentionally choose you, even if it's me.
This last
time I had to choose because you look like a goofball. I was like, he'll be mad if I use this thumbnail. So I fell on the sword for you, Ryan.
I don't care. Like, you know how you take a picture and your wife's like, I need to see that before you post it. Like, I really don't care. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
The pictures are capturing who we are to a degree. So, but if you take it from an angle, my wife says, like down, it makes you look thinner.
That's all. Take all your photos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
No, Matt, that's great, man. I appreciate having me on.
Yeah, definitely, man. You're welcome anytime for sure. And if you get any new news on the little shenanigans going on, please let me know.
100%. Let's stay in touch for sure.
For sure. All right. Well, thank you, Matthew, for coming on. M&M Garage Doors. If people want to connect with you, how do they do that?
You hit me in my email. It's matt@mnmdoor.com, MANDM door.com. There is no and symbol, which people commonly make a mistake. But yeah, feel free. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to chat with you.
And I would say if you need a garage door, hit them up. But I'm assuming like 99% of the people on this podcast do not need a garage door. So
Probably not. Probably not.
and shout out to Jake for making it on the podcast today. A mention, and we'll have to tag him or something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So,
No, this is great, guys. I really appreciate it. If you guys need anything, let me know. But this was awesome.
All right, bro. Well, have a good day, and thank you for coming.
All right, guys. See you.